The Nationals are in their road grays, and as expected, Nyjer Morgan is going to first base to run in the place where Elijah Dukes was. And by the way, back on Tuesday, May 5th, at the start of the ball game at 12:38 Washington time, it was cloudy and 57 degrees. And today in Houston, about 42 degrees hotter than that.
And it was Cinco de Mayo, and people were happy, and it was a big party, and it's not now. It's the 9th of July.
And it's time to settle a ball game. At the time, the Astros were 11-15, and at the time, the Nationals were 7-17. But they had a pretty decent home record of 5-7 at that time. It was a getaway day, a day game after a Monday night game because it was a very short series, and because of that being the Astros' only visit to Washington, D.C. this year. That's why this whole scenario has unfolded. There was not a later time really that fit the schedules, Rob, of either ball club for them to make a stop in D.C. and finish out the ball game.
Well, I think there's some confusion as to the ground rules. Cecil Cooper, Manny Acton, the umpiring crew are going over it right now. And I was interested in seeing what kind of uniforms we would be wearing. We're wearing our road gray, and the Astros have their home whites on, which is kind of confusing if you're going to do highlights after this game. And we are the home team. And I doubt this is the same crew that was back in Washington, D.C. May 5th.
Well, would you like to know who that was? Lance Barksdale was the home plate umpire. Tonight it's Jim Wolf. Brian Knight was at first base. Tonight it's Brian Onora. Randy Marsh, the crew chief, was at second. Tonight it's Fieldon Culbreth. Mike Winters was at third. Tonight it's Adrian Johnson. Now we are assuming that the umpires after this game will then rotate their positions for the regularly scheduled game at 8:05 Eastern time tonight. And the Nats have remaining on the bench, and Josh Bard is expected to be the hitter in the number 7 spot after Willingham, currently occupied by the pitcher, none other than Joel Hanrahan. And then you have Ronnie Belliard and Alberto Gonzalez. The joke running around Houston last week, when the Pirates, actually this week when the Pirates were here, if the Astros made a deal and picked up Joel Hanrahan, he could be the winning and the losing pitcher in this game tonight.
I guess so. I guess they could get him and throw him into relief after LaTroy Hawkins. But there's been a lot of guys, a lot of substitutions in this ball game for the Nationals. Scott Olson's out. Saul Rivera was here. Tavares is out. Mock is out. Wells, who is no longer here, is out. Remember Alex Cintron? He's no longer here. He's out of the game. Dunn is out. Was 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Willie Harris is out of the game. Anderson Hernandez and Will Nieves was already substituted for. So none of those players are eligible for the Washington Nationals.
We thought it might take a while for the umpires just to make sure everything is just so. If needed for the top of the 12th, Mike McDougal is warming up. I mean, you have to have somebody ready in case the Nats do not score here. There was no count on Willingham when the rains came at 4:30 p.m. that afternoon. So this ball game had already been played for 3 hours and 52 minutes. So right now the time of the game is 2 months and 3 days, and we'll see how many more minutes it takes to play. We've been waiting for this moment for a long, long time.
And I think we're going to get this one in. We now have a roof that was built on the stadium. No, Minute Maid Park has their own retractable roof, and the roof is on because of the heat.
It is 7:08 Eastern time, and LaTroy Hawkins to Josh Willingham. Instead, a throw to first. Interesting scenario here. If Morgan steals second, would they walk Willingham and then pitch to Josh Bard, nursing a bad groin next, who will be hitting for the pitcher? Short lead by Morgan. And the second throw over. Lance Berkman, of course, holding him. Still waiting for the first pitch. Here it comes. Willingham, a bouncer foul outside third. So the count goes to 0-1 after a wait of more than 2 months. And by the way, the previous night's game, John Lennon had beaten the Astros and their reliever Wesley Wright in a 9-4 Washington win when they pounded out 15 hits. So the Nationals were in a position to sweep this brief 2-game series before that tying run in the 9th inning on the sac fly by Jeff Blum.
And guess who one of these starting pitchers is for the next game? John Lannon.
John Lannon tonight. Roy Oswalt started this game. He will start against the Nats tomorrow. Hawkins working extremely slowly.
Well, if you're confused, so are we.
Well, I think we have a handle on what's going on, but evidently LaTroy is in no hurry to get the proceedings going here.
Well, I think he knows that he could get a loss right here. He's been pitching so well.
Well, he's the one who walked Elijah Dukes back on May 5th. And Willingham takes one inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
But that was a good walk for him because Elijah Dukes was already 2 for 4 with a home run in the ball game.
True. Josh Willingham on this day was hitting 143. That's certainly not the case anymore the way he's going at 287. So he has doubled his average since May 5th.
What was Zimmerman's hit streak at?
I'll tell you in a minute. Willingham with a base hit to left. And the winning run's at second base. First and second, 1 out. And Josh Bard is coming up. Ryan Zimmerman on this day had a 22-game hitting streak.
Well, this is a nice sinking fastball in the inner half, and Josh Willingham just puts it into left field.
And the longest at bat of Josh Willingham's career has finally come to an end successfully. He was in the batter's box for 2 months.
Well, swing of the bat could end this thing. I feel bad kind of for LaTroy Hawkins, because normally you come in, it's a pressure situation, the adrenaline is flowing through your veins. It's a very empty house here at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, just a couple thousand folks here, some of whom probably thought they were coming to watch batting practice.
Yep, 6:10 local time.
So here's Bard. Hawkins checking a couple of times. He throws a first pitch changeup.
Jeff Bard, hand comes off the bat. Nice pitch, though, by LaTroy Hawkins. I mean, normally, like you said, the Astros would be finishing up their batting practice. The Nationals would be hitting. LaTroy would probably be in the clubhouse. And 1 hit away from getting a loss.
He had struck out Kearns, pinch hitting for Dunn, walked Dukes, and 2 months later gives up a hit to Josh Willingham. Pulled a string on him again and a foul tip.
How about Jesus Flores, who's been on the disabled list for a long time with the broken bone in his shoulder? He's been waiting for that 1 hit to add to his stats for a long time. He's 1 for 2 in this game.
That's right. Jesus Flores was a pinch hitter.
And went in to catch.
That actually was a bases loaded walk when he got that ribby, huh?
Yep.
So Bard has to protect here on 0-2. By the way, Drayton McClain, the owner of the Astros, sitting right back there in the peach-colored shirt. Everybody pretty curious about this one tonight. There's Mr. McClain. At this time, the Astros on the road were 6-7.
Yes, Mr. McClain's probably going, okay, let me get this straight. We're the away team, but we're at home wearing our whites.
Now, if the Nats go ahead and win this, will they be jumping on everybody?
I don't know.
Here's the 0-2 to Bard. And no throw. Nobody in behind Morgan. If there was a right-handed hitter in the box, Nyjer Morgan would probably be tempted to steal third to get over there with 1 out.
That's just a move to keep him close to the bag, because Nyjer has a very nice lead. Nobody was actually putting a play on.
And a breaking ball that he holds off in the dirt. And a good stop by Pudge Rodriguez to keep Morgan at second base. He might bounce another breaking ball on 1 and 2. And the stats we're showing you are current stats, not post-dated back to May 5th, or predated back to May 5th. Here's the 1-2. Handbard with a ground ball. He's got a bad groin, and they're going to turn a double play. No, they won't. The game is over. The ball is thrown away, and Nyjer Morgan scores. Can you believe it? Time of the game, 7 minutes.
They are jumping on him.
Nationals win it 11-10. How about that? Rob, they had no reason to hurry with a runner who has a bad groin. No way he's going to beat this out.
Well, LaTroy Hawkins throws a slider up in the zone. Bard hits it. You see him limping coming out of the box. He can barely make it down the line. And Tejada just airballs that one. Nice feed right there. Tejada comes up and throws it right over Berkman's head. Watch Nyjer Morgan. He never stopped going. Watch Josh Bard bob out of the box. Look at him. He's limping all the way to first.
The Nationals win the ball game 11-10 in the finish of a suspended game here in Houston in the so-called bottom of the 11th inning.
Well, Johnny and Ray are going to have a lot to talk about. 21 runs, 25 hits, 4 errors.
By the way,